Ashley.
I'm Jill.
I'm Ayana.
I'm Julia.
And I'm Jamie.
And we are the Woo Women's Advocacy Group. So, our team's vision was for a community in which all women and youth will have access to proper resources and education to make healthy and informed decisions. So, our underlying core values that we established were inclusive, welcoming, collaborative, supportive, encouraging, and safe. And in order to create this vision and the underlying core values, we first brainstormed the values that were important to all of us. So we all chose one, and then we applied those values to a common passion of ours, which was women and youth health advocacy.
So we reached out to Sergeant Molly McDade Hood, who is a human trafficking sergeant at Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, for our organization. She works in the jail occasionally, but she's typically in her office or on meetings, calls, doing events, basically just reviewing evidence and working with others or educating others on this topic of sex trafficking. Her main job is to document trends, tattoos, etc. And she discusses relationships with suspected traffickers and victims. She assists in gathering evidence to basically help the women who were exploited and get these guys in jail. And with this evidence, she is able to also reduce the threat of witness tampering throughout the process of their conviction and all that. Her work allows her to identify traffickers and incarcerate them, and she also identifies victims and aids in their will for a healthier lifestyle. So that's her biggest goal, is to help get these women and children out of it. We selected Molly through my internship from WU, and I've been there for about a year now. So Molly's a great resource in women advocacy and has a ton of connections with many people who also help promote women's health and safety. So she's super easy to communicate and extremely helpful and straight to the point. So she's a great resource for us.
Okay, so here's a little bit of why we chose our community problem. So one thing that we realized that there was a lack of centralized resources for women and youth in Oregon. So we wanted to create a platform or a place where people could go and there would be a multitude of resources that would be readily accessible. And as women in the community, we felt that it was important not only for others in the community, but for us as well, to have a place where that information could be provided as well as resources. And then we ourselves have also experienced the effects of not having those resources be readily accessible, especially because of coronavirus and us having to be stuck at home with quarantine. Domestic violence rates have increased, so there is an even greater need now more than ever for those resources to be accessible, especially online.
So for our project, we each chose to focus on a resource. And in order to get this out to the public, we created an Instagram and a Facebook page. And we took turns posting. Every day we each would post a resource. We wanted to reach out to those who are in need of resources and provide the resources in an accessible way that was able to reach various people in different ways. Our attendant outcome was more women and youth would be informed that if they had not come across our social media pages.
So with our resources being implemented out into social media, we were able to reach a number of people through those posts on Facebook and Instagram. And by women being able to see those resources, they were able to form a better understanding of the need for women's health and safety and how to access these resources if need be. Also, we understand that this is a problem that cannot be solved overnight. With that being said, we hope to be a voice for people who need one and offer our support by providing these resources throughout Oregon.
Yeah, so here's a little bit of data that we collected through posting on Instagram and Facebook. So our Instagram account, as you can see, has 40 followers, which is honestly pretty good for only having it up for like a week. And we have 6 posts, so essentially one per each of us. We averaged about 9 likes per post. And obviously, likes doesn't exactly equate to how many people saw it, so probably more people saw it than liked it, but it's good to know that at least some people were for sure interacting with the posts. And then as far as our Facebook page goes, so we had 7 page likes, like for our overall page, 7 posts, because we had an additional post that wasn't on our Instagram that was just like a compiled list of all of our resources. And we averaged about 6 people being reached per post, which, like I said, pretty good for only having it up for about a week. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, lastly, we're going to talk about the lessons that we learned for our project, and we have 3 of them. The first one is that we learned how to operate as a team based on our leadership styles. So we all came together with the different strengths that we had and made sure that they fit well and that we were able to get work done. We learned how to communicate online, which is using different platforms and different resources to do our meetings and to have our presentation and things like that. And we also learned how to manage conflict using the skills that we learned in class. And what we learned about teamwork, we learned that teamwork takes compromise, trying to put all of our ideas together and form it into one cohesive plan. And then we also learned that working as a team online versus working in person required a lot more understanding and patience of different people's schedules and different things that we all had going on. And that is our presentation.
Thanks.
Perfect.
Right.